souls, fellow empaths, seers, and psychonauts. Come in for the scry today. Let's see what the shapes and symbols have to say. Hello, old souls. My name is Steph. If you're new, welcome. If you're returning, welcome home. We are going to dive into the baby book of blots. We're going to create in your name and essence your ancient aura. We're going to scry. We'll add on some tarot and oracle. No ghost tube today. Sorry, me and my phone gotten some. We're having some debates on efficiency here. But what came out in the pre-shuffle? Energetic communication, the insomniac, Eden, the unknown, and the green man of new cycle and growth. I will reveal in just a moment, utilize those timestamps, but I'm having the sensation, and actually I feel like I'm stepping into the sensation. If there might be something keeping you up as well in regards to spirit communication at night, very specific with one energy that might be trying to come through. It feels heavenly, if I may, but that's not to say how our physical energy may interpret it. Could just be keeping you up at night because it feels unknown, and it might be in part and parcel of this new cycle and literal new emotional chapter. So we're going to dive in, old souls. Thank you for sharing, and subscribing. Of course, I appreciate your attention and awareness and your views. Let's pitter patter get at her. All right. I love you. Thank you. There are all the cards there that stepped forward through. I think we're just going to use some sepia today. You know, I love me some sepia for my old souls if we're not using the scrolls. All right. Can we squinch and get some room here, please? Old souls, please utilize the timestamps if you just want to move along. But if you're here for the creation of the portal, our mirror, you are the mirror. Oh, okay. We are adding some color. Okay. No, that is not the color I want. Thank you. That is. Old souls. In cursive, no less. So bougie. I hope you're doing well whenever you may receive this. And always feel well to comment below what you see, sense, or feel as your insights to expand the Scry experience. And we all become the readers, the seers. Or you can also just drop an emoji. I appreciate that too. Give a girl a like. Whatever feels good to you. All right. I'm just about ready if you are. Old souls, how you doing? Taking a nice deep breath. Closing the eyes, cleansing the palette of perception, releasing the race and the rush. Activating the abstract mind and ancient awareness to perceive and receive symbolic support. In the name and honor of old souls, fellow empaths, seers, and psychonauts, starseeds alike, may we all meet a message with meaning. All right, give me 1 second. I need to get a better squench. There you go. You're welcome to take a screenshot so you can scry in your own time. Personal use only. Thank you. All right, Teddy Ruxpin stepping in. And there's a moon that is, this crescent moon is like a banana holder. I'm seeing the crescent moon like a banana. Okay. There's a kangaroo in there. You make me feel like dancing, go to dance the night away. That's how this kangaroo is making me feel. There's also an energy that's leaning forward to me. It's another animal, maybe a monkey, not a baboon. What kind of monkey? I don't know enough monkey. It's not an orangutan. It's definitely a bigger kind of monkey. I feel like it's a maybe even a gorilla, something that would have a wisdom attached to it. If there's a specific kind of monkey that you feel has a wisdom attached to it, that I would listen to, and that would listen to me, vice versa. Yes. Okay. All right. It actually might be no, I don't know. Is it baboonish? I'm not sure. Nonetheless, I'm getting distracted. Teddy Ruxpin, this communication of the spirit communication, keeps stepping forward. So I'm just going to acknowledge it so we can move of this energetic communication and how that might be happening with and through for you. This is in the Cave of Ice, and in the Cave of Winds is the Insomniac, but it's almost like keeping you up at night. And this might be something that you've been dealing with for quite some time or quite a while. Teddy Ruxpin. It reminds me of when I was young and I would, if you had those dolls that needed batteries, and then if you're like me, sometimes they would just go off without having any batteries in them at all, and it's like so spooky, but there it is. There could just be an energy that's connecting with you specifically at nighttime, because you do have an energetic communication and connection, but maybe it feels more like the connection is being more established in this point. Maybe that's what's keeping me up. It's the connection being clarified or being the connection being connected. Okay, yeah. In the Cave of Hearthfires is Eden, and that's actually bringing me like right down in here in the ink portal. That fire. For some, this might be somebody specific that that has passed. If you're acutely moving through grief, my heart is with you. And even like the aftershocks of grief that pop up, maybe days, weeks, months, years after the initial passing and crossing over. Because this feels like somebody I trust and I know, but there's an element of emotional unknown in this energetic communication. Also, I want to know, empath specifically, if you feel or are sensing your connection to the collective is changing. Your energetic connection and how you communicate with the collective is changing for the better. And this is better for you and for them. It's kind of like in the spirit of boundaries. It may not be received as better, but it is better because it's reciprocal and reflective of the exchange. So that makes it better. It just makes it better. The spirit of overgiving in hopes, wants, or desires to over-receive, but what are you receiving back? And that kind of feels like there's a lot of discernment being felt here. It's like, I actually don't want to receive an overabundance of that. And you're coming to terms with that, of admitting that. That doesn't mean necessarily closing off the connection to the collective in some way, shape, or form. It feels like it's just changing, like I said, but also honorably, it is containing my own connection and communication with spirit as kind of the bridge between other humans and the collective consciousness to have support along the way, because maybe you're feeling a lot of cries from humanity or parts of the world, and you feel like you're carrying everything plus your regular everyday life, this, that, or the other, and it can cause some heartburns, like keeping your heart up at night, and like in a weird way your energetic Eden of sorts, or your ecosystem of heavenly homeostasis, is on fire, and that's not fair, but we've also allowed that to happen. Anyway, the point is you know what I'm saying? It's because that structure, it's like, stop eating that. If something's causing you heartburn, stop eating it. Again, I don't want this to sound like a closing off. It is the connection is changing, and it's changing for the better, because it's being able to it's like going from, like, say, a 1-inch diameter pipe to like a 5-inch diameter pipe, for whatever reason it's coming through that way. So it's not so much that more can come through, there's more space for the same amount of communication to come through and not keep you up, not keep you agitated or overactivated overactivated. Okay. Now this also feels like reflectively in another realm, and I understand I'm all about it's in this reflective space right now, but it's here and I'm going to go with it. And if you're here, thank you so much for like sharing and subscribing for this. It's because the old book of ways of moving through empathically or energetically, even if you don't resonate with the term empath, this, that, or the other, it's like even removing those, but understanding how that is an opportunity to connect to the collective or to oneself or to specifically one other person. And this one other person for some is on the other side, quote unquote, is on another side. I don't even know if other side is right. It's another side. And it's not because it's like all these glass panes. It's just dimensionally speaking. So your upgrade of sorts in this energetic communication and connection is widening because you've already done or you're recognizing the quality. How do I want to say that? Because there's a building inserted in between. Because I'm seeing it like city pipes, and there's buildings all over the town or the village, whatever the case is, like different watering stations or sewage stations to be able to separate these two. That's what it is. That it's being able to separate those two. So what comes into you is cleaner and clearer and maybe doesn't carry all the crap with it. Not because we're poo-pooing the crap, we all understand that, but because for you to receive it and to be of service in its clearer form is way more helpful for you in whatever it is that you're doing. Going for your walk, touching a tree, having meetings at work, and carrying your best vibration while being able to care about the overall collective energy and connection you have. I hope I have said this in a decent way, that long-winded and windy as it may be, we are here and it makes sense. I love it. Okay. Thank you, Teddy Ruxpin. It's almost like these automated response that are expected in Teddy Ruxpin, and also noticing at least for me in this moment, the safety and security of having a teddy bear, symbolically speaking, or the bear symbol might be speaking to you, and seeing the strength of that. Yeah, absolutely. There's so much strength in that. Oh yeah, and even in the cave of rivers, there's fire there as well. And this maybe is feeling us into a certain amount of unknown of how to, I've always interacted with my boss, my partner, my children, the collective anyway. I'm going to stay in this space, old souls, because that's how it feels. It just feels very, very open. This is how I've always done it. This is what I know. And in this expansion or upgrade of sorts, like seeing roadways, being pulled up because they're putting in new pipes or diverting things, you're implementing, dare I say, new technologies or just upgraded understandings to be like, this is actually more efficient now. And this will be more efficient for the next, say, 20 years. Or for one reason or another, certain bridges or concretes or however people might build things, I don't know, but there's like some things there's like, this can withstand a 20-year storm, a 40-year storm, a 100-year storm. So and you're actually implementing something about like a 100-year storm for the next century of sorts, and that's the kind of upgraded materials that you're working with now. But it takes a little longer. The substance is maybe a little bit more quote unquote expensive in one way or the other, which means maybe some sort of sacrifices you feel you've made to spend on this upgrade for you, has meant that on some evenings you don't go out with your friends or spend money, or you save your money, you save your energy, you meditate instead, or you do whatever makes you feel that you are spending that energy wisely because it's applying to this 100-year, century, whatnot. And maybe this has already been in your lifetime, and if you've been sensing that, it's like acknowledging it right here in this moment. Okay, wow, that's a whole lot of mouthful coming through in this one portal. And then I'm seeing it's like, yeehaw. That kangaroo is just like, yeah, figuring it out. You're figuring it out because you've always been figuring it out. It's really not a problem solving thing. And I think this is also some sort of brilliance in that there's no problem. It's not problematic. It is just an enhancing with different experiences, and for one reason or another, and completely outside of my knowing and understanding, but say, from Canada to say Texas, we might consider putting things in or an earthquake place. We're going to, build things accordingly because they have high earthquakes. So they're going to upgrade things accordingly to their weather systems or landscapes. Yada, yada, yada. We're Canada. We may not do that, but we have to think about, minus something horrendous, fucking whatever. Oh my goodness. Sorry. Okay, it's fine. I'm a trucker really at the end of the day. And then Texas might do something different because they deal with different weather systems. So there is this understanding and respect amongst maybe old souls that everyone's building and upgrading per their current locality that is both in the living and the liminal simultaneously. And I kind of see the liminal hallways between each of us, I, you, we, me, as these wonderful tunnels. They're good tunnels, not creepy tunnels, that can lead us into connectivity that's kind of beyond the surface of things. But this doesn't seem to keep me, at least in this moment, up at night. There's still something else that's happening that's maybe keeping you up at night. And it is a spirit or spirit guide or somebody that that has passed over the hereafter, and they are upgrading. And I'm using this term not because I want to use the term upgrading. It's more of an enhancement. It's coming into their own form in spirit, being formlessness, and being able to learn how to communicate with those still in the living. And it could be a little startling or insomniatic-y, but you are being asked to connect. And what is a solution? Because it's not a problem. Okay, so there's maybe subtle actions to take, like writing a love note, if it is somebody that you feel it is specifically beside your bed. Saying a prayer or a mantra, if you will, an intention before going to bed. There also might be for some a certain flower or a certain item. Again, maybe a teddy bear, if it is a child, or just something that like you and a sibling would understand. And that symbol is kind of like a bridge to say, okay, I'm feeling it's you. Here's not a peace offering, but it is a piece of peace. Okay, common ground. All right. Oy vey. All over the place here. But I love it. I love it. I love it. All right, old souls, what else is going on here? Oh, what's going on? Seeing trophies. Freckles. Somebody crying tears of joy. Sentimentality. We have here Persephone in the journey and darkness with Nyx, or yeah, I'll just say Nyx. Very dark and light simultaneously. But that energy right there is what could feel is keeping us up or keeping you up if you're here and resonating with this. Because it's like I'm looking at it. I want to decipher, is this good or bad? If I must apply a polarity to it for simplicity's sake. But energetically, it comes in at night. For some, this also could be a mother figure or a dark mother energy. Oh, for heavens and hot dogs. There's a camel. If a camel symbol means anything to anyone. And then we have here Cowley coming in the cave of hearth fires with Eden. Like this can feel like a firestorm or a fire starter. But it's love. And if anyone's causing us heartburns or heartaches while in the living, it feels like, again, that it's kind of like that filtration system or those different buildings in city workers. Oh my gosh. You know what I'm saying anyway. And putting things there in place so that by the time the connection gets to you, it's a lot clearer. And sometimes that there's also, it might be like a boiling point for some in a heart space. Control, like Saw, seeing the horror movie Saw come through. Monkey shine as well, like, or maybe like, I don't know, something about monkeys is still in there. It's not this monkey. This feels like a wise monkey. This one feels a little I'm going to call it like maybe like a rebellion of sorts, a rebellion. This could also be inner adolescence. If you're not so much, well, teddy bear is here and maybe you have that, could be the inner child, but now you're moving into inner adolescence work or awareness of sorts and bringing that aspect of you into the future, which is your present, but their future. So, which may be unknown to them, but this green man with the cycle here of new growth, it has like a new landscape for that inner adolescence to flourish. And it will flourish under the safety and guise of the I, you, we, me, of the awareness of right now. Whether you're 22, 29, 4,421, or 60. I'm not talking about age in that aspect, but there is this feeling of just an inner adolescence that has a certain power. It's undeniable. If you've ever been in adolescence, there is something very specific about that time in our life, that there's power that is like untamed and yet craves attainment or attention or whatever the case is. So this inner adolescence is loved and is very much so. It could be almost like in this hellish Eden of sorts, and maybe you recognize this in others, but you're like, for at least oneself, it's like, come forward and I can lead you because I am you already in the future. So I am the greatness of which you are to become. But I would like to bring you forward so that you feel safe and have a new chapter for this adolescence power to grow under the guise and safety of the present adult. Yeah, it makes sense. You feel it. Okay. Yeah, I'm looking at something. There's also something about a ballet shoe or a red shoe. I'm pinky swear. Okay. Pinky swear. Oh, okay. Contraction metal coming in with the unknown and all that alchemy. Number 1 might be standing out to you. And rising air coming in with the green man. This feels even this cycle of new growth in number 5 might indicate change to you or validate that change. Earth and air, earth and air. We've absolutely have fire here, of course. I feel like I'm embodied empathically through the emotions of water. That's my association. It doesn't have to be yours. Fire and water and or earth and air, and this energetic connection is like, phew. I also want to note this might be parents to the inner child, you being the 3rd, mother, father, child, you being the 1, black, white, red, or black, white, gold, active, passive, neutral, and you're rising above something. What am I rising above? This is part of the upgrade feel. So it's why it's up. Okay. Negotiation metal. I feel like there's been a back and forth about something, especially in the mind. This back and forth with Persephone and the contraction, but with the negotiation over here. It's like back and forth. Is it good? Do I want access? This also there's been some sort of I think that you've recognized and realized anyway, somewhere along the ways, there's been some form of like Rumpelstiltskin trickery. And it's just annoying. But you figured out the alchemy of your own awareness. And I think at this point in time, anyway, your inner child, if I may, is already with your present inner and outer adult. And now they're meeting up with your inner adolescence. It's pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie, it feels pretty cool. And I feel like the inner adolescence is like trying to decide like, should I stay or should I go now? But fortune on earth, it will be all very much so fortuitous and fortunate for all aspects of yourself in this alchemy, in this like Teddy Ruxpin feel. Again, this teddy bear, I feel very soothed through this. The green man coming in, there also might be something about your father's line specifically, or somebody in your father's line. Could also have something to do in the heart space if there's been a reoccurring cycle. And you might be so you might be moving on from that cycle, even empathically speaking, or however you're here, psychonautically speaking, becoming more airy about that, like being able to travel in your thought space, in your mental mindscape farther than you've ever gone before. But with the green man here, because you can bring it down into the ground and ground it into your embodiment. Now, this could also be in conversations you have with other human grounded beings that also have the capacity, very psychonautically, not psychedelically, psychonautically, to explore existence and bring it down in conversation, in conversations we do here, so that those conversations can keep on going amongst the collective. Oh, this, instead of that Teddy Ruxpin, not poo-pooing Teddy Ruxpin, but just like, instead of these automatic responses like, I love you, it's a great day, you're like, okay, it's not even like a reprogramming. It's kind of like from the example that I've given. I'm sorry that I've yammered on. I'm going to head to the flip side in just a moment. You're welcome to join us. Link is in the description box below and or the comment section if you would like to come into the extended. But it's like taking the batteries out of this doll, out of this teddy bear, closing it up, and now allowing it to speak that has a different connection, power source, invisible as it may seem, and now it can speak freely. And it's not attached to the programming. Okay. That's been nixed. All right. We are going to flip this Inkblot. I know I just said it, but I'll say it again a little bit slower. So I'm not being rude, because this was a fast talking kind of scry, and that's okay. We allow that to happen. Sometimes it does. If you'd like to join us, we're going to flip this Inkblot, exploring for more insights and support. You're welcome to join us by joining the second or third tier of the channel membership. Second tier is all the extendeds. Third tier is we do a monthly live, and the first tier is a weekly secret scry. But no pressure, you don't have to. I thank you for being here. I love you, and I will see you again soon. So much love. Bye. Woo! Gonna get rid. Easter egg card. You know we gotta get us an Easter egg card. All right, Easter egg card, take us to the other side. And just like that. Okay, there's actually two. Ancestors, checking in, where you sleeping. And All Hallows Eve. Stop it. Halloween is every day. I'll see you on the other side.